Good morning, Lionhearts. It's been a while since we've had a pre-shower, shirtless, pre-combed hair vlog. I figured, why not? It's one of those days. So of course, almost every single time that I get an audition, it's when I have something else to do. Is it not? Did I not have a trip planned to go to Vegas and got an audition that day and had to cancel it? Well, today I told you I had made plans with a viewer and fellow vlogger to go do a vlog today, and sure enough, last night at 8 o'clock I got a call from my agent saying, hey, we're calling to give you your audition info. It's in Santa Monica. So I'm gonna have to talk to him and basically say, hey, do you want to do the vlog, and then we can drive over and do my audition and still hang out, or I can go do the vlog, come back here, and go do the audition on my own. So it's just so weird. I feel well, I almost don't even want to mention what I was going to say before, but I was like, every time I plan a trip, I end up start dating somebody. So maybe I either should go on more trips or no trips at all. And every time I have some sort of plan made, I always get an audition. So maybe I should make sure that I always have a plan so that I always get an audition. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and get my shower, take Jaw out, get our day started. But today, I basically said, hey, what do you want to do, man? And he said he didn't really care. He'd let me pick. But I said, are you into movie locations, graveyards, celebrity homes? He said, I'm into grave sites more. So that gave me the opportunity. I said, you know what? Let's go do a fun one. As fun as they can be at a cemetery, I guess, right? But this cemetery is actually pretty cool. They're very friendly as far as letting you film. I've never had them say anything to me. It's always been a pretty good experience. We're going to go to Holy Cross. I don't know what he's going to vlog. I said, go ahead and look up and see all the people that are there. But me, personally, I'm going for John Candy. Now, even last night, just looking over his Rolodex of 40-plus films that he made, it kind of blows my mind to think, okay, which ones do I want to mention in the vlog? And it's like, no matter what you mention, you're forgetting a big one. No matter what. I went through a list of probably 15, and then afterward I was like, oh yeah, and I forgot National Lampoon's Vacation. Like, you forget, even when he was a bit part in it or just a secondary character, how truly memorable he was. If you wonder what I'm talking about, in particular I would say Stripes, Brewster's Millions, and one of my all-time favorite characters that he ever did was in Splash. But those aren't even things he's really known for. He was a superstar in the 80s, and unfortunately he passed away the night after filming his very last scene in 1994. Today, we honor John Candy. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Well, I decided that if we do head over and do my audition from the cemetery, we're gonna do another vlog over there. I'm gonna show him a few other things in Santa Monica. So I decided to do this a special sunglasses day vlog. And there's Jaw. He already ran into 2 dogs and is super feisty, so I think when I get back today I'm gonna have to take him to the park. He's always got a little bounce in his step. Pep in the step. So when I say special sunglasses, this is what I mean. I know I've actually worn these way, way, way early. I think maybe when I went to Disneyland for the very first time in the vlogs. But Donna Jorgensen, these are your sunglasses. They will see John Candy's grave today, as well as whoever else we run into. What a weird way of saying that in a cemetery, but we're also, I think since we might end up in Santa Monica, I'm going to vlog something else for a future vlog, and I'm going to use these sunglasses so you'll see them next week in what we vlog in the future. Well, this is where we're meeting up for our vlogging adventure today. Orlando's on his way here, and we'll head off to Holy Cross Cemetery shortly thereafter. Should be a fun time. Wow. So look what Orlando brought. This is Orlando. What's up, guys? Wow, he owns a shop and actually made these. How cool is that? Well, here we are, Holy Cross. Well, here we are. As far as I can recall, the final resting place of John Candy is inside this building. I don't exactly know where, but we'll have to look and find it. Now this is a Catholic cemetery, so obviously John Candy was Catholic. I always love to look at all the statues when I come here to, well, really any cemetery. You guys know me. I think we found where John is actually buried. And it looked like there was a nun finishing up a ceremony in there, so we wanted to wait a little bit. Wow, this is beautiful inside here. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, that is so beautiful. I love these stained glass windows. Well, right here we've immediately found Fred McMurray, though he's not who we're here to see today. We'll save him for another time. But just 2 spots right above him is John Candy. Like I said, a guy who you almost can't name all of his great movies. It's almost impossible. You'd forget some. And for a guy who only made a little over 40 movies, that's quite an accomplishment. He actually really started his comedy career at the age of 21. He had been doing some local comedy, and his buddy Dan Aykroyd had actually seen him and said, you know, you should come to Chicago and do Second City. So he actually went, auditioned for Second City. He would do Second City, he would do independent theater, really cut his teeth. He actually said the time that he was in Chicago was probably the most formidable time of his life, because he said basically everything was available to me. He said I could party, every vice was available, and he said I didn't realize it, but through all of that I was actually honing my craft. I was performing every night, I was making friends, exploring the world, and I was putting it all into my comedy. And he said even when John Belushi would try and talk him into going to Saturday Night Live, John was like, I don't know if I really want to live in New York. It seems a little too chaotic for me. And he said, I remember Belushi pointing out at the city landscape and saying, look, John, it's Rome. Anything you want is here. But John wanted to stay in Chicago, and he wanted to stay with Second City, so he actually was pretty instrumental in getting the Second City television show picked up by Canada. And that became a mainstay. I mean, you can YouTube Second City and watch some of those old great comedy clips that made him a household name. I mean, they're genius. Eugene Levy, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, all those great character actors that came out of there, those great comedians. But John Candy would end up doing Stripes. He would go on to do The Great Outdoors, Uncle Buck, John, what was it, Who's Harry Crumb, Nothing But Trouble. Even his worst movies are considered successes. And this is the final resting place of John Candy. He was actually filming his last movie, Wagons East, with Richard Lewis. And he had gained quite a bit of weight during that time. And they said his health wasn't good, but he finished up this movie that they were filming in Mexico. He called it a wrap at about 10 p.m. when the whole thing was done. He called a few of the actors that were on the set and congratulated them on finishing, and went to sleep. The next morning, his bodyguard called him and tried to wake him up so that they could leave, and his bodyguard couldn't get any kind of response from the phone, so he eventually went to the final hotel room and opened up the door and found John laying there half on the bed and half off, and that was the end of the great John Candy. He was a family man to the end. He actually married his high school sweetheart. They had 2 children, and
even in the height of John's career when he was starring in just about every movie. I mean, think about this. Think of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and you have Steve Martin, who was the biggest comedian in the world at the time, and they come to him and they say, we want you to make a movie where you will play opposite John Candy, but you will be the straight man, and somehow you and John will both hold your own and nobody will be the star, you'll both be the star. Can you imagine making that kind of an offer to somebody like Steve Martin and them saying, yeah, I'll let John Candy be the star of this, I'll let him get all the jokes. And then when it's over, it becomes just maybe one of the most classic holiday movies of all time. Now you also can't forget John Candy in Home Alone. He always had some sort of crazy bit part, and for all the characters that he did play, the one thing they always said about him was that he was a guy who always put his real life into the parts. And when he played Uncle Buck, they said when he would do those scenes with the children that are supposed to play his nephews, he would actually imagine those were his real kids and how he would treat that situation if he were really in that. So you got more emotional responses than just a comedic actor. And the same thing with The Great Outdoors. He just played the best dad there was, and he'll forever be missed. Great John Candy. You know, I actually remember the exact same day that John Candy died. I remember I was at home, it was after school, and I had been taking a nap. And I remember waking up and there were two reports on the news. One was that John Candy had died in his sleep, and the other was that Kurt Cobain had had a massive overdose. And Kurt did actually survive that one. And it always kind of struck me odd that he was interred here because, let's get Orlando in some of that shot, is that he was pretty much a lifelong resident of Canada. He was born in Canada. Even when he struck it big, he lived in Ontario and at one time owned a Canadian football team, the Argonauts. That was the only way I remember that is because I remember he owned them at the time when I was a kid. There was a player named Rocka Bishmael who was on that team that everybody made a big deal about. Well, since Orlando was just asking who Fred McMurray was, let's just do a little bit on him now. He was the star of My Three Sons. He was the star of Double Indemnity. One of the greatest actors of his generation. But he's went down as a classic. I mean, I grew up watching him, and like I said, My Three Sons, that was where I always recall him and Bub going back and forth, which was played by William Frawley. And now think of this. John Candy died at the age of 44. 44. If you go and look up any movie that John Candy's in, like I said, you'd be hard-pressed to find one bad one. He just didn't make bad movies. Even movies that people considered to be bombs were great movies. Like I said, Nothing But Trouble. I always loved that movie, and that's widely considered a bomb, starring John Candy, where he plays how many different characters? I think he plays 2 or 3 characters, one of which being a woman. Dan Aykroyd plays a few characters in there, and it's just a classic movie that I love that people seem to have gone down in history as saying is a bad movie, and even John Candy's phenomenal in that. Well, I'm over here showing Orlando where Sharon Tate, Rita Hayworth, the Tin Man, Bela Lugosi are all buried. And we got asked to leave. Yep. Right as I was wrapping up John Candy, they came and told us we weren't allowed to film here and that I had to leave, so I can add this to my list of cemeteries that I'm no longer welcome at, I guess. Well, I'm glad I've vlogged as many people here as I have, just in case I'm not welcome here anymore. I pretty much knocked out just about everybody I wanted to see here, I think. Well, we're on our way to the audition. Hopefully this will get knocked out pretty quick and we can get back to doing some vlogging here. See if I can get kicked out of anywhere else today. Well, we're in Santa Monica. Not too far from the Pretty in Pink record store or Pee-wee's bike shop. All right, we are done.
Really, all she asked me to do was, she said, have you ever worn a mascot's outfit before for anything on film? And I said, yes. Then during the audition, she said, do one take scary and one take like Bill Murray. And when I got done with Bill Murray, she said, very nice. So keep your fingers crossed. I love these upward views of palm trees. I don't know why. All right, well, it's time for some lunch. Now, Adam the Woo and I actually have had the smaller cantina version up in Hollywood, and now we're at the flagship, the main one that they started over here on South La Brea. Can't wait to try it. No shortage of swag. T-shirts and hats galore. All right, we've placed our order. Now we just have to wait. Wait for this man to make our taco. Ah, the food is delivered. And you even get Danny's face right there in the middle of the tacos. I decided to get 2 street tacos of carnitas with pineapple and then 2 steak asada, and he got 4 asada. So let's dig in here. Well, we're actually going to be calling it an end to the vlog here in a matter of minutes because Sam Tripoli just called me and asked me to come out for a paid gig to film some stuff from one of his comedy shows tonight. And it actually happens to be a place that I have wanted to vlog for quite a while. So he said, I know you want to vlog there. This will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You'll have full access to the place. You can tell your stories, film whatever you want, film my stuff, and I'll even pay you. So I'm going to end the vlog and what I filmed tonight with him, you'll see tomorrow. I promise you'll enjoy this. But right now I'm actually going to take Jaw over to the pet store, get him one of his little bones to chew on, and hang out with him for a little while. Hey fella, are you going to Tail Waggers to get a treat? Look up here.
Any more spare ribs, Jaw?
Jaw, you ready for a treat?
Well, he's got his treats. He's happy now.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night now. I have another big night ahead of me, but you guys will see that tomorrow. This is gonna be fun. I had a great day. It was nice to meet with a viewer and somebody who's been watching me for so long, who also makes vlogs, and it was fun to see him excited to get to watch me do this, as odd as that sounds. And we did a lot of vlogging, actually. We went to some places I've already vlogged and shown you before, so I didn't film any of it. And then we actually stopped and I did 3 additional vlogs that you guys will see in the future. And I have a long night ahead of me. I'm gonna actually go do the vlog that you're gonna see tomorrow, tonight, which is gonna be a lot of fun. But since he brought me a few hats, Daze with Jordan the Lion hats, which to my knowledge are not on Spreadshirt yet, these are actually pretty cool. They're stitched hats. Can you see that? Yeah. So, since I don't wear hats that often, I wanted to give 2 out of the 3 away. I'm gonna keep 1. This one, since it's Cincinnati Reds colors, that's gonna go to my #1 fan. That's gonna go to my grandpa, because I know he'll wear it, and I know he loves hats. The other hat, I'm gonna figure out a way to give it away, and give it to somebody that'll wear it a lot, and I guess be proud to wear the Daze with Jordan the Lion hat. So that's it. Had a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And there's a lot you didn't see that you will see in the future, and I know that you'll love it. It was a lot of fun. Call it a night. I want to thank Michael Donahue for becoming my newest Patreon, and the rest of you, I will see y'all tomorrow. Good night.